What's up, YouTube? Ian Sandusky back here again for Let's Machine. Today we're coming at you live from my kitchen. I'm doing some homebrew beer at the moment, so I'm boiling, so I have a few minutes to talk to you guys. Apologize, the acoustics in here probably suck, but we're on winter vacation, or winter shutdown at the shop, so I figured in the interest of keeping a little more consistent with my uploads, I'd talk to you from right here in my kitchen. And helping me today is my friend, sister. She's my chocolate lab, and she's helping us out at the moment. So, what we're going to talk about, her and I to you today, is something that is in the news a lot lately. It's something I find, excuse me if I keep checking over here, I just don't want to completely boil over my work. But it's something that's in the news a lot lately, and that is, if you don't know, I'm in Canada, so this is all related to Canadian politics, but UBI, or Universal Basic Income. The reason why this affects us in machining, I will explain as we go. So quick background, what Universal Basic Income is and what they're proposing. This is all just in proposal stages. Nothing here is set in stone. None of it's even really been proposed in the House of Commons or whatever. This is just what people are talking about. But one thing, or what Universal Basic Income is they're proposing that we get rid of our welfare programs, they get rid of our social assistance, they get rid of a lot of our social programs and replace it with this Universal Basic Income. The numbers I've heard bandied about are anywhere between $17,000 to $22,000 per person per year. The reason why this is supposed to be, a new thing that's going to help is instead of something like welfare, where you are disincentivized to work in some scenarios because if you go over a certain amount, you lose your benefits. So they're saying potentially it makes some people work less. I don't know. This is what the government says. I'm not putting my own spin on this at all. We give everybody this amount per year, whether you work or not. So it doesn't matter if you already make $80,000 a year, you get the 20. It doesn't. I don't know if there's a cutoff, but let's say you make $40,000 a year or $10,000 a year, you're going to get this 20 no matter what. Universal basic income. Everybody makes at least this amount. Essentially, this is so people don't lose their benefits if they go beyond a certain amount, and it's also because of the problem they're saying that's coming up in the world with automation replacing jobs. Essentially what they're saying is that automation is on track to replace people out of jobs across the board, no matter what we're talking about. I mean, I'm not even getting into the AI side of things where, do stockbrokers exist soon? I don't know, maybe they're all computers. Essentially, this is talking about automation happening everywhere from McDonald's with their automated ordering kiosks to something like us where we have CNC machines and robots reloading them. Or, Amazon replacing, their runners with these little kind of, those little vacuum robots, more or less, that take things from the racks and ship them out to you. Drone delivery, automated cars, automated trucking. These are all things that, when we talk about automation, they're talking about. And so, of course, this relates to us. I'm going to talk solely about how it could potentially affect us in machining and manufacturing. Machining and manufacturing, from when it started to now, has been about making things more efficient. It's about making more parts per hour more accurately. It's about spending less per part so we can be competitive with places that have maybe labor laws that don't really exist, like a place like China or Malaysia. Things like that. The problem is, what they're proposing is that everybody who uses automation, they're proposing, this is just people talking heads talking, this is not legislation, I want to emphasize that, is that they're proposing that anybody who uses automation be on the hook for an automation tax or robot tax or however you want to phrase it. The reason why they're doing this is to pay for UBI. They're saying that since we're getting rid of jobs through automation, let's make automation pay for UBI. People aren't going to be able to work, therefore let's put it there. Let's take my take on it. The problem is that if you're only looking at the metric that does this technology replace people, therefore we tax it, where does it stop? Let's go all the way back to the printing press. It used to take scribes sitting around in a big room writing books by hand. All of a sudden, Gutenberg comes along this printing press, pow, pow, pow. You can churn out books on an industrial scale. Look at the Luddites. What Luddites used to be, oh, my dog is squeaking something. Sis, come here. What it used to be is that, excuse me, she had her Christmas toy. What it used to be, what Luddites used to be, today we use it as a catch-all for people who don't like technology. What it used to be was an actual kind of rebellion against automated looms and textiles. what they used to do is go in, these Luddites was a movement, they used to go in and smash all the automated looms to try to keep people employed because they were losing employment because of this. This is something that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, essentially ever since we started to industrialize. Where it's going to become problematic for us in machining is, what is the purpose of adding this tax if companies can just up and leave? Right now, it doesn't look like anywhere else in the world is even proposing this or even thinking about it. Rightly or wrongly, we already have a hard time competing with the pricing out of somewhere like China or Malaysia, India. We have a hard time competing with them in terms of price. Let's not talk about quality. Let's not talk about all the other issues with intellectual property and stuff that go along with it. But we already have a hard enough time trying to compete with them. If we add an arbitrary tax to make us even less competitive, companies are just going to move. Look at a company like Apple or Google or Amazon. They're all headquartered, or at least they were, last time I checked, in Ireland, because Ireland had a super low tax rate for corporations. They save millions, if not billions of dollars a year just by locating there. What's going to stop companies from moving manufacturing out of Canada? If the only reason some things are manufactured here right now is because the plant exists here and is tooled up for it, at what point does it become cheaper just to build a plant somewhere where it's cheaper? It would be a complete second offshoring like we saw in the 80s and 90s when everything moved out to China and to Korea and all that kind of thing, right? There's a reason why a lot of stuff is not manufactured here, and we're only starting to see some of it come back now. I think it's insane. I don't think it'll ever pass. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it today because you have to remember, this is the future of our industry we're talking about. This is how we put food on the table. This is how I feed my dog. I don't have kids, but this is how I pay my mortgage. This is how you guys do that too. You need to be aware of things that could be happening in our industry and think about them. You don't need to be worried. You don't need to be paranoid, but being informed is of the utmost importance, not only with new technologies coming out, but potential hazards or barriers to trade or manufacturing in the future, okay? You guys in the States, I haven't heard anything about this, so you're in the clear, but in Canada, it may move down there. Who knows if it even happens here. I don't think it will, but it's interesting nonetheless. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this hasn't been too much of a departure from our normal stuff on Shop Talk. I know this is a little unorthodox compared to my usual videos. I'm literally shooting this with my camera propped up on or with my phone propped up on a box, but I hope it's been enjoyable. Let me know, guys, if you have any topics you want to talk about. Let me know your thoughts on this. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Have a safe and happy new year. We'll talk to you soon. You take care.